earlier. Hey, what's up, everybody? BGST Sunday, and it is time for the best damn Sunday podcast. And we've actually got everybody on board today. We got the lovely Tim Dog. He's back. Arr, arr, arr. He was tearing up people on Twitter today. How you doing, Tim?
Good. How you guys doing?
Hey, man, we were rolling, man. We had Mooch last week filling.
I saw it hit 500.
Yeah, that was a hell of a show, man. No, that was pretty funny. I actually. A lot of people messaged me and they were like, crap, man, you were on fire. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, man, that was fucking great. You were tearing up motherfuckers. And I was like, man, that's good to know. You know, I can still sling it sometimes. You know what I mean? Mostly I'm just kind of, you know, just talking about stuff. But I can still bring it when the passion's there. You know what I mean? And we've got
passion.
Exactly. We've got Xbot 448 on a new mic, so he doesn't sound like he's fucking coming to you from a submarine. What's up, Xbot?
Like at his
What's
mic
going on, people? Yeah, I'm not. I moved out of the Bin Laden cave. Now I'm sitting in a lap of luxury. Kind of looks like the Taj Mahal, man. I got gold trim all over the place. Yo, crap. What's your nickname for O Snaps? What? Moneybags Mel?
Moneybags Mel. Yeah.
Yeah,
you got all the shit, man. Soon you guys will have that PlayStation VR and all that good stuff, man. I can guarantee it.
She moved me out of the cave, so we're all good now. What's going on, everybody?
Not much. And we also got L Mega. Oh no, he's K Mega this week. What's up, K Mega?
Send that shit to Hades.
It has returned. It's back to life. Hey man, look, you know what I'm saying? Legend Mega to you, crap.
Gotcha.
Don't you ever forget it either.
Gotcha,
but
man.
the fact of and it's going to be Victor Mega after I've finished dispatching Xbot next week in Mortal Kombat. And
Gotcha. Like that, man. What are you talking about? It's gonna be L Mega for like months after that, dude.
No, I can't let that happen.
You guys are in the Mortal Kombat tournament then.
Yes.
Yeah. Me and Mooch went at it, and that was like awful. Like we both sucked so bad at that game. There was times where like for a minute and a half we didn't connect on anything. Just like we're sitting there pushing buttons, jumping around each other and shit. We couldn't hit each other. It was just like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, but it was a good time. Like that was fun. And then like he's just gonna end up losing the next gen next week anyway. So
me and him play?
Yo.
Yeah, I think you're playing Mooch next week.
I gotta ask, man. Next gen.
Friday, Saturday? Yes. Talk to me.
What did you do to get a buy, by the way? That's what I want to know, man.
Man.
What the fuck, yo?
I don't.
I think just because he's pretty good at the game or something like that. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm gonna say like this. I'm good when I play. I haven't played in about 2 weeks. I've been playing Killer Instinct, so I gotta hop back on and get dusted off and get back ready, man. Let's Mooch page down the table.
You know what?
I'll take a dive.
Yo, throughout the first round, yo, next gen is sitting in like a comfortable ass chair, getting fed grapes and shit.
Let's go. I said, let's go.
Hey, this is the thing. Next gen, you gotta watch out for because he's gonna be raiding. He's gonna do that little fucking fucking thing where he flies across the stage at you like over.
Excuse my language. I said call that nigga be cool stick. You wanna bring that out? I promise.
Yeah. Well, like, dude, like I was like, holy shit, dude. Really, like I kicked his ass the first round, and then I thought
you had it.
I did.
6-1.
Yeah, it was 6-1, but it was like, yeah, it was like, yeah, he kept on fucking using that move, and I was like, what the fuck, man? Like every time it was just
crap. All you had to do was block it, and then he spins up in the air, and you uppercut him, man.
Neither one of us knew how to block until like the fourth fight in. So yeah, that just goes to show you that it was kind of. I mean, it was funny as hell to watch, but it was just like one of those things where
the fighters is this not your thing, or?
I don't Mortal Kombat not as much. I think I'm better at Killer Instinct. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm great.
Shameless plug. I must say this though. I really have gotten to appreciate Killer Instinct. The level of content and stuff they really supported that game. But even with the Shadow Lords mode, you get to play and add little. It's like add like a little RPG element to it. Add perks and everything. It's dope. Yeah, I've been playing that for the last 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, I saw you. I was watching you stream some. I was flipping between what you were streaming and Xbot was rocking out on some music.
Oh hell yeah! Through the fire and flames, 92% on hard.
Yeah,
what?
You're getting better. You're getting better now. If you could just talk and play at the same time, man, that would be excellent.
Oh my goodness, you really. Maybe I'll get a microphone stand and I'll sing the song as I'm playing guitar, man.
Yeah,
what about that?
Absolutely, man.
There we go.
Absolutely. I think that would be fucking fantastic. You know what I mean? I just I like it. And next gen, you're doing a lot of that streaming stuff too. Like I think that's cool. Like me and Mooch have been streaming on Friday nights, and we were playing. We played Gears 4. Now that was pretty damn fun. We were kicking some ass and stuff like that. So definitely a lot of fun there. There is a lot of news to talk about though. I think one of the biggest things that people want to know about is Phil did an interview where he talked about these big single player experience games, how those are like really kind of risky and they aren't as big as they used to be, and how the multiplayer games are really where it's at. And a lot of our people ran with the story that means Xbox won't do single player. Like, I don't understand how you put 2 and 2 together with that. But, I just think that it was kind of funny. So then Phil comes out and corrects himself and says, I never said we're nixing, the single player games. We are, we're still investing in that. He was just saying from an industry standpoint, the games that stick around are the games that have like a service aspect, the Grand Theft Auto 5s with GTA Online, the Call of Duties, the Battlefields, the Minecraft. These games are constantly in the top 10 because they constantly offer something to people. And he said that like Horizon Zero Dawn and Zelda are the exception to the rule, not the actual rule themselves. And he's right, because look, these games will stay in the top 10 or whatever for a month, and then they're gone. I mean,
I've been saying that though, crap, since forever. You see the same 10 multiplayer games month after month, Grand Theft Auto, 2K, and whatever, because no one really plays, and I said this before, no one really plays Grand Theft Auto for the story anymore. It's for the multiplayer.
Grand Theft Auto Online,
for the multiplayer.
In fact, I heard they might not even, like, people are assuming GTA 6 will be after Red Dead.
They don't need it.
Yeah, like that might not even be the thing. I heard they might do Bully 2. That's like the big rumor, is that Bully 2 will be the next game after Red Dead 2 because they're making so much money with GTA 5. They're just going to keep supporting that. So, I mean, I can completely understand where they're coming from though with that. You know what I mean? But I just thought that it was funny that so many people were flipping out, and you saw people say, "Oh, Phil should be fired," and
was that bad? It was that
dude. You had people saying that he should be fired. They were taking the M logos out of their names. It was like ridiculous. It was like, Jesus, it's okay to have like an opinion, but he didn't even say that they weren't going to do.
Not for anything, but if like even baseball, like if you're going over to sports, baseball, a lot of clubs are looking at stats, right? And they're building their teams off of stats. You never and they go with the numbers. And Phil was talking about the numbers on paper, fucking numbers, right? It's not to say that these clubs don't like the power hitters and stuff like that, or they're gonna like dismiss one to get that. No, like, but by numbers, those service games are. Look at Overwatch, like over 30 million. I think Jez Corden put that out on Twitter as well. It makes no sense. He's talking facts. Yeah.
I think what it is the fact that he says, if he just said multiplayer games, it wouldn't have went over. Just the fact that he said service, you know what I mean? That was the big public backlash or whatever. The fact that he said service. Oh no, service. What do you mean service? If he just would have came out and said multiplayer games, then it wouldn't have been no big deal. And I want you to get your opinion on this, Tim. Like I said this before, you just gave an example of Grand Theft Auto, right? As far as we may not release another Grand Theft Auto for a while, they can keep supporting it with the DLC. And I said maybe they can do the same thing, like as far as with Halo and with Gears, with the map packs, the DLC, different expansions and stuff, before just jumping into quote unquote another sequel. Give it a minute or two or whatever. Like we don't need. Here's the thing: when do you think Halo 6 is going to come out?
Next year.
I hope not.
Next year.
I hope not.
I think it's going to be next.
I hope not.
Next year. It'll be next year for sure.
It'll be that big game in 2000.
Yeah, that's a different story than GTA. I mean, GTA goes out and is multi-platform and sells like 50, 60 million. That's completely different. Even if Halo 5 did 10 million, you still you're going into the third year. Eventually, that's going to start to slow down. I mean, I guess it's been picking up players and things like that, but you have to have your flagships out there every few years. I mean, depending on how long a generation is, that's still only 2 games per generation. That's not bad in my opinion. I'll never say no or turn down the idea to get more of these games, because the bottom line is, thanks to like the Forge and stuff like that, there can always be new maps and things like that, and there's no paid DLC for that. So I think that that helped the community stay much stronger, and that'll continue on with 6. But you got to get the stories and stuff out there too, man. Like a lot of people play Halo for the stories. They don't want to wait 6 years for another game. The stories are great. We want to see what happens. What's the payoff?
Okay, well, I won't say. I'm not saying 6 years, but when did Halo 5 came out in 2015?
About October will be 2 years. I think.
I'm gonna start something. I honestly, I think it would do much better if they wait to 2019 when Scorpio was in his stride. You know what I mean? Like really probably bring it down to probably like 350 probably in 2019. It'd be much cheaper. That maybe could bet whatever Sony got coming out. As far as if they're gonna drop the PS5. But I mean, I'm saying with games like that, the fact that they are supported with so much DLC and so much Mac Pack and Rex and all that shit you can buy. We don't need them every 2 years, or what I mean.
I agree.
This is every 3 years, and I'm perfectly fine with that. You know what I mean? Like you can't. I don't want to wait another year for Halo, man. I'm already wanting the next one as far as I'm concerned. So,
but see, that's the thing that I wanted to discuss. I said this on the GRG podcast last Friday night, and this was the main thing: is that when I was talking about Locke and Master Chief. It's time for the Halo series to start actually making Master Chief not irrelevant, but make Halo more than Master Chief. Because every time that you talk to people about Halo, they primarily talk about Master Chief. Right now, Master Chief is bigger than the Halo saga, and now they got to start making these changes. So I think it's time for a spinoff. If they bring out a spinoff next year, that's great. But I think that they should hold off and wait. Just like Next Gen said, until you bring the behemoth on, then. I mean, there's so many other games that you could be bringing out before then to get, to get people's, mouth wet, for the excitement of Halo. But bringing out Halo 6 all of a sudden next year, I think that's too soon, in my opinion.
I don't think it's too soon for the fact that they're going to not have much to offer next year. I mean, we're still in the middle of this kind of revamp that Phil was talking about with the first party studios and stuff. So I think that next year you might see, you're going to see Forza Horizon 4, you're going to see Halo 6, and you might see one or two other big. Sea of Thieves might get pushed in the next year.
Yeah.
So you'll see Sea of Thieves, Forza, and Halo, and you might get if they do bring back the Fable, which it's looking promising. You might see that next year. That could be pushed into
Killer Instinct. You'll probably see.
Yeah. So you're not gonna I can almost guarantee you. I know a lot of people are down on that. We don't know. But look, I think that Phil made it clear that he's not gonna announce a bunch of stuff that's years and years out. So I would say that they're gonna play it extremely safe this E3. And for the next, I think we're gonna be in a little bit of a lull, but we're gonna have the best console to play the multiplats, which are really on fire right now. So for me personally, I don't have a problem with that.
When it comes to Halo 6, actually, I got to disagree with Mega. I think next year is the perfect time. You look at a 3-year rotation. Now, between Halo 3 and Halo 4, there were years in between that, but that was because Halo 3 was the end of a story. You see what I'm saying? So now Halo 4
finish the fight.
Yeah. And once that happened, we weren't even sure if we were getting another Halo. All right. And then all of a sudden, years later, 343. With Halo 4, and everybody got excited, right? So a 3-year cycle with Halo is fine, because within those 2 years that they're into development, besides the release year, then you have your Gears, and then you have Forza coming out every year. I mean, that's a nice lineup right there, man.
Yeah,
I think it's better for Halo to have expansions. I think it's time for them next year if they're going to have a Halo to come out, have it to be something to expand the series, not only just be about Chief and Blue Team. I think when people can wait, they get more excited about what's coming in the past. I think there's a lot of things that needs to be filled out, and that's why I was bringing up the story about Agent Locke and learning more about Team Osiris, and then what's going on. Maybe have an Arbiter side story quest. Those things would be very, very cool, because if you start rushing out Halo 6 right now, I think that it will be dope, I'm sure. But if you prolong it a little bit longer, it will make a better story, in my opinion.
All right, well, check this out, Mega. The only thing about it is Halo 5. A lot of people criticized Halo 5's story. Me, Crap, you, we might have liked it, but when it comes to the Halo community, there was a lot of criticism about Halo 5's story. Now, whether it was Locke or whether it was, it just didn't feel like a Halo story or whatever. So that would be the bad title to hang another year or two on. You know what I'm saying? So maybe if they do the Halo 6 and then start doing spin-offs after that, that would probably make more sense, because now you're getting deep into these multiple wars that are going on. You know, the end of Halo Wars 2 with Atriox. You have Cortana with the Forerunner technology. You have those scraps from the Covenant. Like, I think they need to come out with that Halo 6 before they even think about doing spinoffs.
And also, I have to point out that they did recently just say they're doubling down on the Chief stuff, because they realized that people wanted a more story about Chief,
which is bullshit.
Not so much about the other people.
Which is bullshit. You know what? I love Ranar Thor, but when he sit here and he used my phrase on Locke, I was about to go off on his ass. You know what I'm saying? Much love to Ranar Thor. He's a really good guy, but. No. You don't. No, look, man. On GRG,
he said Locke to Hades.
He said send Locke to Hades. I was about to cuss his ass out. I was on the real. You know what I'm saying? Because I was triggered in GRG. I was more calmed down than some dude on the next podcast. But now you about to get me revved up again, because we need no. The fact of it is that, look, I said this on next and GRG. You cannot have Master Chief and Blue Team kill everybody. You got to have the Halo story bigger than Master Chief. If you have when the time that they actually want to kill off Master Chief, and it's just, let's just say in Halo 6 they kill off Master Chief, Halo might be in a state to where they might be done. They have to start expanding the story so people can start getting prepared that we're going to move on with Chief eventually. This isn't Mario. This isn't fucking Mario where, you know what I'm saying, you got a fictional character that can, you know, eat mushrooms and grow his big ass head and then go on and go. We're talking about a saga. We're talking about Star Trek. We're talking about Star Wars. And eventually the old guards got to pass on the torch. So you have to move on and you have to find a new protagonist, just like in Gears of War 4.
Okay. Tim, what do you think, Tim?
Well, I mean, we're on Halo right now, but I'm going to go back to
I was going to say that wasn't my influence either. Right?
No,
I didn't do that.
I'm going to go back into what Phil said, and a lot of things that, you know, were also said that people aren't talking about. He said that we're not going to go and pre-announce a bunch of things, but they are upping their investment, which a lot of people were worried about, on first party. What he said about single player games is pretty much true. You know, it is a fact that the biggest games now are Overwatch or GTA Line, you know, these type multiplayer type games. That's just the truth, and that's just what's really doing well in the industry. Now, when you go back to single player games and you look at the experience that he had as Xbox head, and you see all the games that they had released that are single player that didn't do well for a variety of reasons. And I had explained to him, because I actually talked to him on this, I had said, whether he agrees with me or not, but I really believe that a lot of the single player games that came out for Xbox were marred by other things, bad timing, you can say, or resolution. Like when Sunset Overdrive came out, it was only about 900p. When Quantum Break came out, it was about 720p. We don't want to hear about checkerboarding. Now, a lot of these things were deterrents, and you know, it had a negative you know, connotation on a lot of these games, almost every one of them. So I think in his experience that he might be a little bit shook at the single player market because his games just didn't do well. And I think that's a lot to do with the Xbox One stigma that it had. A lot of the things that you know, a lot of people writing bad things about their games, or just not, you know, really talking about the game, but talking about these other things like resolution and shit that really doesn't matter, but they were putting that in the forefront. And I think that it hurt the games. And I do think that if those games came out in the 360 era, they would have been successful. So in this case, that single players are becoming a money pit for the most part. Yeah, I'm hearing you have to get 5 million sales to just break even on a single player game. That's a lot of freaking sales. You have that's a big deal. So what he said was the truth, but people didn't want to hear it. People don't want to hear things are bad, or the people don't want to hear that it's not as, things aren't going well, or the model is just not sustaining itself. And that's where this whole hoopla came up. I mean, it morphed into, we're never going to get a single player game again, and fucks Phil, and you're fired, and all this crazy stuff. Now, that in itself is a product of everything that goes on with Microsoft. Anytime Phil says anything, whether it's in the past or whatever it is, it's taken and it's twisted, and then it's morphed into something that really isn't true. And I think in Phil's defense here, this is the same thing that happened. And I think even today he went on and clarified it more, which he really shouldn't have to, but he had to clarify it more because, let's be honest, you have a very critical Xbox core fans on Xbox, and then you have these neutral people that like pretend that they care and whatever. We all know that we all know you can pretend that they don't exist, or they do, but then they're always taking shots, or they're pushing the concern trolling. And then you have people who outright hate Microsoft. You just could go to NeoGAF and read any of their threads, and you could see multiple people just spewing venom. So they are in a tough position. In regards to single player, I do think that that Xbox is going to look at single player and still make them. I just think that it might not be of the traditional sense, the way they've done things. I think that that's more of something that's going to come out and show itself as the time comes. But the fact is that they are putting money into games. They are building games. Will those games probably have a multiplayer? Probably, sure, because they want to have a return on investment. So if they do have a single player game, they're probably going to say, well, we need a multiplayer attachment to this, and we need microtransactions. Well, people don't like to hear that, but the fact is that just the whole industry as itself isn't really in a healthy position. We have games that, we've been paying the same price for single player games for 12 years now. Okay. It has not risen. It's still $60. Now, while that's great for all of us, I just think that now it's at a point where it's pricing themselves out. You have a budget of 70 million or 70 million, 100 million, and you have to sell 5 million games on one console. That is just really hard. And
I was just going to say, Tim, like, not for anything, but why does Xbox have to follow in Sony's footsteps with the single player thing? Like, I remember the beginning of this generation talking about the game Rise, right? A lot of people, when the order came out, delayed, but it came out. When the order came out, people started comparing the two because of like graphics and stuff like that. One of the benefits I thought with Rise, not only was it prettier, not only was the single player experience better, but the Coliseum multiplayer was just like an added bonus cherry on top. Right. I don't see why it has to be strictly single player with no multiplayer element to it. That doesn't make sense in today's like day and age.
Yeah, but I think that's why Phil was a little frustrated, because there is going to be single player games. Halo 6 is going to ship with a single player.
Exactly.
Then the next Gears is going to ship.
Gears 5 will.
But
exactly.
Honestly, for me, not to cut you off, but for me, it's more of just people look for a vulnerability in Microsoft and they pound it. Whether it was resolution in 2013 to E3 announcement 2016 to this now it's all about where are the games, even though they just released 6 games or whatever, 4 or 5 games 6 months prior, and their holiday was jacked up, and nobody said a word about Sony's. People were writing articles the previous year. It was smart how Sony didn't have a sparse lineup. I'm sure we've seen this stuff, but again, it's that element out there that likes to pry and push Microsoft's buttons or try to get like a narrative going. But unfortunately, I really think that in the future that narrative is really not. It's not true that they don't have games, because they're going to have games and they're going to have single player games. But I do think that Scorpio in itself is going to change a lot of the stigma that goes on now. Whether that means that people start coming over for multiplats, I think that's going to start to happen.
That's Phil's plan too. He even said in that interview, the person that's going to buy Scorpio is the PS4 owner or the Xbox owner that wants to play the absolute best multiplats.
Even the PC owner as well.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
I mean, it's gonna
oh shit! But no, but
being real.
I agree.
Yeah.
You're getting a 4K experience right out of the box with Scorpio, and I just feel like a lot of the fortunes for the single player games this generation were bad because of just everything that's all this type of shit that swirls around. Like, you can look at each one of those games. Sunset Overdrive was 900p. Rise was 900p. It was nitpicked to death.
They're both beautiful games too.
Both beautiful games that look good. They didn't talk about power then. It was like, why can't it do 1080p? The whole this has been an ongoing thing with them, and they're kind of behind the 8 ball, and this whole gen. And I feel though that they have an exceedingly high bar compared to the rest.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you a question, Tim. Now, Phil, one thing he when he had the interview, he said he's not going to announce a bunch of games, I guess, that are far out, or whatever the case may be. But we've seen how that works for Sony and what they do, regardless, whatever God of War or Spider-Man, whenever those games come out. Like I said, me personally, I don't have a problem with it. I think the issue becomes when you cancel the games. Not if they get pushed back, it's the fact, when they get canceled. And to be honest with you, I think they should, maybe do that because how they got this stigma when people think about the Xbox or whatever case, they seem like, E3, we're going to get Gears, Forza, and Halo. And just to break that mold, you know what I mean? Whether it's true or not, you know what I mean? But
whether it's true or not, well, there you go, because it's really not true, because you had these games that when they came out, nobody talked about or bought about, or just people critiqued the shit out of and fucking talked about all the negativity stuff instead of being positive. And that's unfortunately, the experience that Phil has seen. So I do think that there is a little trepidation for him, because he looks at his games and he sees the sales of Recore, he sees the sales of Quantum Break, and everyone's saying, oh, we want all these games, and it really isn't showing on paper. You know what I mean? And just the single player model itself is not really sustainable if you're going to have to make that amount of money in sales. Like this, you can talk about Dishonored 2. That game probably didn't do well, or you took a lot of certain single players. So that's why he talks about the exception to the rule. Sure, there are games that exceeded, but more or less it's a risk. And I just feel that you're still going to see single player, but you're also going to have a multiplayer element on their first party that's going to try to recoup.
But look at this, like Tim, that makes sense, because even on the Sony side, you have The Last of Us, you have Uncharted. These games have multiplayers. Those are service type games because they sell, maps. They sell, you know what I mean? They sell, like, I think The Last of Us has kill animations that you can buy. Like, those are, like, I mean, that's the definition of microtransactions. And also, and they also do, they do those kind of things because they want that community to keep the game. They don't want them to trade them in, and that's just part of that comes with the territory. Now, my point was, just like you said, if these games need to sell 5 million, like Horizon Zero Dawn maybe needs to sell 5 or 6 million to
break even.
Yeah, right. And it probably still hasn't done that. I mean, look, everybody wants to jump on that whole successful tip, just like and I talked about this on MNC Mornings this morning. The hell's that damn Persona 5, right? Everybody's like praising that game, like, oh, you got to eat crow crap. They're like, you got to eat crow crap. 1.5 million shipped, and I'm like, okay, let's break this down. 1.5 million shipped, but over 500,000 of those were shipped to Japan last year. So less than 1 million shipped, and how many of that million worldwide at launch was in America compared to like the UK and these other places, right? So you can just break it down. Maybe.
And there was 150 million consoles altogether because it was on the
PS3 as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So how successful was that game really? Like everybody wants to tout 1 million as successful or shipping 1 million or 1.5. That's not successful.
Well, you also talk about I think that there's all cases here and there. Did Persona have a bigger budget? And probably less. So I think a lot of factors. But I think when you talk about multiplayer on Sony's side, how many games have they shipped with multiplayer? And when they did ship with a multiplayer, it was an absolute disaster with Drive Club. So a lot of the strengths that Microsoft has, they can play to, which is, obviously they have the cloud and they have multiplayer services that work a lot better than you look at Forza Horizon. But Sony is, for their strength, is single player. Is I guess that they could make those games, but they're not really multiplayer focused. And I don't think that that's a bad thing for Microsoft. I just think that people just think that it's only going to be that, and that's not true. That's where it becomes this shit show where it's not really true. It's because they have the ability to make multiplayer games. It's more maybe accessible to them, and that's why we see more multiplayer games, because we do.
Well, well, check this out. It's like buying like a barbecue rib place, right? You bought a brand new barbecue rib place. You know that the barbecue ribs sell the most, but you also have a cheeseburger on your menu as well. Like, you're not just gonna stop like cooking cheeseburgers for the people that come in that want that, but your ribs, being the multiplayer experience, are the ones that sell the most. They're the ones that have the highest traffic. They're the ones that are getting played the longest. So yeah, you're going to invest more in that. You know what I'm saying?
Was that a botism?
Yeah, that was a mooch. That's a mooch.
Okay, check this out, right? Okay.
I had to reach back to Crossfire for that.
No, you good, man. You good with that. But look, check this out, right? Look, I really don't care if he slows down on the first party games for this reason. That means that he wants the best of the best when it comes to single player experiences. I don't want a whole bunch of trash just filled up into the store because there's Japanese games that people say that Xbox doesn't have, or etc. For all the people that open their mouth and talk about these Japanese games or these single player experiences, they don't play these games. They just talk about whatever the numbers are or what it's supposed to be expected of them. I like Phil's approach to it. And if he does with the past, doing like the Netflix service that he was saying in an interview of doing like a Telltales type of thing, that is an awesome, awesome deal. Plus the fact that he wants the best of the best single player experiences. We're talking about Witcher 3. We're talking about, other games that single player experience. I love Quantum Break, but the fact if you're going to do it right. And so if he has a smaller lineup of single player games, then I'm all for that, because we need to eradicate the trash and let the real game stand up.
Yeah, you know what? Speaking of the Netflix thing, with what he was talking about, you could see something like Alan Wake sequel would be good for that, because that would allow them to do that. And I think what he means by Netflix, not like streaming, but the fact that they do their own content. You know what I mean? Like they have their own exclusive content, and I could see some of those developers going to Microsoft and say, "Hey, can we do this? Hey, let's try Alan Wake 2 Episode 1." Like that was an episodic game to begin with, Alan Wake. Like there's different episodes in there, and then they each ended, and then you went on to the next one. So I could see something like, I'm not saying that particular game, but something like that could definitely happen in the future.
Yeah. Have you noticed? Hold on. Let me see. Have you noticed that a lot of the PlayStation brethren, they brag about these games, but you don't see a lot of channels dedicated to these single player games. Like, there's channels that's dedicated to Forza. There's channels that's dedicated to Halo. We know that for a fact. There's other channels that's dedicated to Gears and other games. But you don't see anybody dedicated to Horizon Zero Dawn. You don't see nobody dedicated to Uncharted 4. Horizon Zero Dawn, if the story is better, or if they have a better experience the next time around, then it might. And The Last of Us is the only real game that I can see as long as God of War has been out. You don't see a dedicated channel to God of War and try to break down the lore. So that should tell you something right there about what goes on with the PlayStation brethren.
Like I said before, why do we have to follow in the footsteps? We've had awesome games that have had awesome single player stories. Like look at Gears 4. Like, look at Rise, look at Sunset Overdrive. They all had a multiplayer element. Why are we going to ride this wave of we need those single player games, strictly single player games and stuff like that? We don't need that. If they can make a great single player story and still have a multiplayer element that's going to keep people coming back and playing the game and stuff, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. I don't understand why we have to fit this narrative and say, we need more single player games that don't have a multiplayer.
I don't think it's more or less fitting the narrative. It's maybe just covering all your bases. That's all. It's to have something. I have a genre for everyone. Maybe not like me personally. I'm not really into the PvP thing. I do more or less enjoy a single player story-driven game. That's just me. You know what I mean? So, but you guys more like into the shooters and the Gears and the Halo. That's your thing. It's just me. As I said, just covering all your bases, you know what I mean? That's what Sony does. They are really known for their one-player story-driven games, and kudos to them. You know what I mean?
Well, Z, you're talking about that. Just look at the Sony exclusives, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them, Sony is known for being more single player, I guess you could say centric, right?
Okay.
Look at their values now. Like the value of Sony exclusives drops like a fucking rock after they release. One of the best things about when we picked up a PS4 is all right, I get to go in and try these exclusives. I'm expecting to pay maybe $30, $40. I'm getting Sony exclusives for $9, $18. It shows you right there the demand for it in general isn't what it used to be.
Oh, I'm not negating that. I don't think anyone here is negating that there. But it comes back to the thing is to cover all your bases. You know what I mean? You got something for everybody. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, there's fans of Bubble Witch Saga and Candy Crush. Should they make more of those games on console then?
As long as they have, if there's a demand for them, a market for them, you know what I mean? Why not fill the void? At the end of the day. And again, even and I want to switch the topic. I want to talk about the thing that happened at X Fan Fest, but I said even Tim said something about Sunset Overdrive. I think Sunset Overdrive probably would have did better if it came out a year later, or maybe it had a co-op mode to it. But it's a great game. I don't know what the sales were or what they did. You know what I mean? I don't know. As far as that, but
Resolution Gate attacked that game the same way as Quantum Break, man.
It also came out year two. The second year, I believe it came out in 2014.
Yeah. And there wasn't that many there wasn't many Xbox Ones available.
If it came out, a year later, or maybe in the spring, or I don't know. I don't know, but it was an okay game. But it is like I said, crap. What else we got on this? If we got
there is the Fan Fest stuff. They redid that, and the tickets went in less than a minute. I was on the page the minute they went up, and then by the time that shit rolled around, it was they're all gone.
No, I'm talking about with the documents, the white papers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those are the X Fest.
Oh, the X Fest. I'm sorry, the X Fest.
Yes. Okay, so X Fest was this thing that they held in January for third-party developers, and that's where they go over all these documents and all this kind of stuff. And it was pretty cool because it's the first time that we get in writing what they're talking about. It's and a couple of the more interesting parts were aim for the frame rates to be consistent on the multiplayer games between all the Xbox One devices, but they're more flexible on the single players. The final Xbox Scorpio dev kit is scheduled to go out 3 days prior to the Tokyo Game Show, and it looks like Microsoft is actually going to go to the Tokyo Game Show and Gamescom this year. And Scorpio is designed from the ground up, according to these documents, to render games at 2160p, 50% faster hard drive than the Xbox One S, 50% more memory bandwidth than the Xbox One S, and a 60% increase in DRAM, 4.6 times the T-flops of the Xbox One S as well. So some interesting stuff. You guys saw that picture of the lady, what looked like a steampunk type setting or whatever. That was all this stuff that was inside these documents, and where they're just trying to show the difference in resolution. You guys saw the ladybug Like, you know what I mean?
I saw that. That looked insane.
Yeah, like that's insane. Like that's the stuff they're doing, like adding hairs to the legs and just making things much more realistic. Now the problem is a lot of people were like, well, that thing doesn't look much better, the girl or whatever. But those weren't 4K assets. That was just strictly a resolution bump. Showing you the difference in the resolution and the super sampling, which looked fantastic. That's not counting the actual 4K assets and things like that we're going to actually get with this. But these documents were like absolutely fascinating to kind of go through and you just see what they built from the ground up. And they even mentioned that when you start with your game, your third-party multi-platform games, you start on high settings and you can go from there. You can go up, you can go down, you can do whatever you want. But they do have like these guidelines that you can go through, and I think that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like they really have they've broken down with how easy it is to port games to it, how easy it is to develop games to it, and that's what you want to hear. Like they even mentioned that it's going to be the showcase for developers. Like developers want to be on board with this. They want to show the best versions, and the best versions are going to be on Xbox Scorpio. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And anybody that's like, well, no, they'll just cater toward the PS4 because there's more sold. That's not how it works. I mean, you put your heart into something, and you want it to look its best and play the best, and that's what's going to happen.
Well, I got a question.
You know, like look at World of Tanks, right? We know that's native 4K on Scorpio. And people are like, well, that doesn't take much as an indie game. But then you go,
I had asked somebody at Microsoft off the record, which obviously will remain nameless, but I said, what if they do that? And the person said, well, we don't see that happening, but if they did do that, they forced parity, they would simply call it out, because the system speaks for itself. Scorpio was built, and it was built with a plan in mind. And unfortunately, Pro, I think they built it with a plan in mind, but it was more towards VR. And the results show, I'm not bashing the Pro, but it is not in the same league. Yep. This is Major League ball player versus a AAA ball player. It's really
double A.
Oh, well,
I'm just saying, like, look,
the Field of Dreams, man.
The PS4 Pro, it's okay for what it is. It's a resolution box. It's meant to give you higher resolution of your base 1080p images, right? Scorpio, it's incorporating these fucking high-end textures. It even says so. It's like these games are going to take up 40% more space because they're adding the textures. Like PS4 Pro games, I don't think does that. They can't because of the bandwidth. They don't have the bandwidth, memory bandwidth to do 4K textures. They don't. So while everybody's kissing their ass and saying how great Horizon Zero Dawn is and stuff, like when I play that game, I'm noticing, man, they put a lot of fucking fog in this game to cover draw distance. You know what I mean? Like that's the shit that I don't want to see on Scorpio.
Check this out, guys. Let me say this, and this is me being, this is on speculation, but fuck it. I don't give a damn. I mean, there's going to be a lot of haters with what I'm going to say, but I'm just going to keep it real. The Call of Duty trailer, I think that was shown on the Scorpio. I really do. I mean, that's me speculating, but I really think that there's going to be a lot of developers show their games, even though they have contracts with with PlayStation. They're going to start showing the best versions of those games on the Scorpio, and Xbox is going to allow that to happen because I tell you this, when people start playing those games on the Scorpio, they're going to be like, hey, wait a minute. This game looks just like what it did on the trailer on the Scorpio, and this shit don't look anything like when I'm playing on the PlayStation Pro. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee it. I'm this is speculation, but I'm almost guaranteeing that. I really do. Every developer wants to show the best quality of their game to get their games off the shelves.
Well, it only said in-game engine. I don't think they really mentioned what platform it was on. Right? It was like captured in-game. There wasn't really much gameplay per se anyway, but like, here's the thing. Microsoft had Call of Duty rights for Ghosts and Advanced Warfare, and when they showed off the games, like IGN would stream it or whoever, they were always PS4 version because the PS4 version
There's nothing PS4 popping those graphics like that though. Crap though. I mean,
I know. The reason why I'm saying it is they want.
The Pro is not pushing shit like that. That is high end PC stuff. And I'm thinking if that's not a PC, that's the Scorpio. Anything else, it's a lie.
Well, here's the thing. Here's my.
Yeah.
Go. I'm saying. Go.
Oh no. I was just saying that they were showing the PS4 version because that was supposedly the one with the higher resolution or whatever. So they're gonna show the Scorpio version. We're gonna see it. Microsoft has to be sure to gift all these places. Hopefully engrave their names and shit. Scorpios. Give Boogie one, even though I don't want that. Give Angry Joe one. Give all these people. You want the influencers to have them. If you listen to Phil talk, right? He did that interview with Xbox On. He said, yeah, like the influencers are people that are really going to help push Scorpio. Like that's the truth. That's why this thing can cap in 4K and 60 FPS. That's going to be a huge difference. The Pro can't do that, and it wouldn't look as good anyway because it doesn't have the same texturing and like the super sampling and stuff. Like they have to build that shit in. You don't have to build that shit in on Scorpio. Like it does it by itself. So
my question is to you, whoever. They said here that let me go back. Something that you said here. We got our notes. That basically that they're going to, as far as the frame rate across all of the you know what I mean.
The multiplayer frame rate is supposed to be the same.
Well, in multiplayer, we all played. I mean, all the shooters and stuff are just about at 60 frames or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But a single player or whatever. I'm gonna say flexible. If I'm buying a premier console, and because just for PC gaming, just for shits and giggles, not everyone has the same amount of RAM, same CPU, same GPU. Different people play at different frames and have a ball. I'm just saying, if we are buying a premier, console, whatever the case, they should let the developers, push the console. Whatever.
Well, the problem is Phil likes the unity of the console space where the frames per second is matched, and it's one of those situations where most of the multiplayer games are 60 anyway. So I don't think that that's going to be a problem. And they said that they can be more flexible with single player. So we probably will see some single player as long as it's able to do that. Unfortunately, according to Ledbetter from Digital Foundry, he said that a lot of games are hard coded with 30 frames per second max. Mm-hmm. So we might end up seeing that as the situation. I don't know. Like supposedly he was like, yeah, I could see Forza Horizon 3 4K 30, but to me, it's like they could probably do 4K 60. Like my brother does it up PC 4K 60 fine. You know what I mean? And it's not as I'm not sure exactly what he's working with as far as in relation to Scorpio. I think it's pretty close. So I could see them doing something like that where it's scalable like that, because UWP apps and games are much easier to do that too, where it's not like as hard coded or whatever. But some of these other games, like you're not going to play Destiny 1 multiplayer at 60 because that game was meant to run at 30. So, I mean, I just think that's maybe Destiny 2 is going to run at 60. Who knows? But, I just think it's one of those things that probably won't happen. I don't know. Like maybe Gears 4, they can get the campaign up to 60. That would be cool.
I think that's what Z was saying. He was talking about like the single player side of it.
Yeah.
Well, no, even like I give you an example. You were fussing about crap. Microsoft allowing the PC guys to play Gears, the multiplayer, whatever, the PvP with console guys. Are they playing it? What's 60 frames on both consoles? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's 60 frame multiplayer on both. So it's like, I don't know. And it's
Forza
like,
Horizon's not though. Forza is 60.
No, Forza can be 60. Some people, I guess, could play it at 30. I don't know, but I guess it depends on what kind of PC you have.
I actually have a friend that plays Horizon. He does the play anywhere, and whenever we were going into multiplayer, he was on his computer at 60 frames per second. He was coming in first all the time. I blamed the 60 frames per second. Like I made a joke and stuff like that, but I was like, dude, that's why you're winning all the time.
Yeah, I think that would be. I mean, for me, like I don't know. I think it kind of depends.
We get what we pay for.
I was on freaking mute and I'm freaking trying to talk. I'm like, I'm screaming like, what the fuck? And then I just seen that. one of the things that when you were talking crap was a little back about RAM and the bandwidth and the textures.
Yeah,
Pro doesn't have 8 gigabits of RAM to hold the textures in RAM basically. When the game that's per Richard Ledbetter too. It's on the Digital Foundry. Basically, what they do is the textures, I guess, it's 5 to make the game, let's say, and then there's the overhead or whatever you want to call it of 2.6 of textures, and then that's sitting there. They can develop for that. Now, is that going to start to hit off? That's going to take a little time to hit off, but it will, because I believe that the games with 4K textures, and you'll see them on Xbox on the first party ones, are really impressive.
Well, Phil said that the game that the good thing about Scorpio, and that's what X Fest was about too, is that a lot of these games already have 4K assets on the PC. Yeah. So those are going to be implemented right away, and they're trying to patch those in quick.
Right, and they're going to add stuff. You're going to see Forza. You're going to see Forza Horizon 3. 4K textures, 30 frames per second. I don't think it's going to be 60, but you're going to see Gears 4K texture. I do think you're going to see updates in certain games, even if they don't have the 4K textures now, because when you want to show your game off to the best, and this goes for the developers too, you're going to use the textures. That's why PC wins with Scorpio, is because now they finally kind of have somebody on the same range where we can get all the bells and whistles that they can, and it's going to be, possibly built on their console, on their PC now, because beforehand they were just, primarily dev for the console. So this is a thing that benefits PC gamers.
Here's what
we shouldn't go crazy on Scorpio.
Here's what the X Fest documents say: enabling higher resolution textures. Gamers expect to experience more detailed worlds on Project Scorpio. We've observed a 30% increase in on-disk package sizes with higher resolution textures for 4K support. Project Scorpio brings specific hardware capabilities to load and store more texture information. 40% more RAM at 8 gigs, 326 gigabytes a second, 50% more sustained hard disk drive speed, 4.6% increase in texture fetches per second. And then it goes on to also say, recommend being selective with map sizes, increasing evaluate stuff as far as upgrading texture map resolution and things like that. Artists very likely working at higher resolution for many assets, set densities and things like that. So they're talking about like implementing textures and things like that. Like with Scorpio, they want people to, and even talks about material building shaders and foliage and all this kind of stuff. And they're like, they're giving these guidelines on developers on how to work with this stuff. And I think that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a pretty damn nice comparison. And, and I think that it's going to be blowing people away. Like Phil reiterated that people need to wait and see the games running on this thing.
I thought that meant he wasn't confident when somebody was pushing that.
He's confident.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Don't pre-order until you see the games. But that's no confidence. That's no confidence. Right?
Meanwhile, they're fucking hardwiring DirectX 12 in the Scorpio engine. This fucking guy saying that.
Yeah.
No, come on.
To realize how important 4K textures are, we were talking about that World of Tanks, right? It's not a complicated game. Let's just be honest there. But at its core, it does have 4K textures. So
my boy Show Knuffles will let you know different, but keep going.
Now, when you check when the textures actually match the native resolution, you guys saw like the World of Tanks, how it looked with the native 4K with the 4K textures. It's like night and day, man. And the textures are the most important thing. And then if you're able to match up the texture resolution with the overall resolution, that shit is just gonna glow off of your TV screen, yeah.
It's true. It's going to be a sight to behold, and we're all waiting for it. But is that game is checkerboard for Pro, right?
Which one?
It's the World of Tanks.
Yeah, it's 1800p. There's actually
that's an indicator of power right there. I would think that should be able to hit 4K.
Yeah, that should be able to. Like, I don't know what they did there, man. That CPU bottleneck, man.
Well, if you remember it was a big to do like over a year ago. That game got 4K textures on the Xbox One.
Yes.
But they were 4K textures, but they had to downsample them or whatever.
Right.
So
there was a bunch of confusion over that. That was in 2015 they talked about that.
Yeah, because everybody was like, "Oh, is this going to be the first like 4K game or whatever?"
Yeah. Secret sauce.
They were using 4K. Hey, I got some DX12 for you guys here. This coat, come on, in my trunk in this alley, I got some DX12. Let's go, man. We got some DX12.
Anything that's DX12 is going to be interesting too.
That's secret sauce. Hey, check it out. Let me get to something else. Let me just say this. Okay, like I'm a big fan of Guilty Gear, right? I got Guilty Gear Renovator on the PlayStation 4. I'm playing it right now, and I see why a lot of these people out here bring up achievement points or trophies or whatever they get on PlayStation. And also found a little secret about what a lot of PlayStation people do as well on their achievements. Very, very grimy. But I'm over here playing the story mode of Guilty Gear, and it's nothing but story. I haven't had a chance to fight yet. We'll be going on for almost an hour, and it's been all story, and I got me 2 trophies already. Trash. Just letting y'all know. That's real talk. Okay, keep going.
Hey, I also want to point out that in these documents, which I'm just kind of scanning through as well, they give video capture recommendations. So they recommend having the capability to capture 4K 60 frames.
Can you send me this? Can you send me this?
I can send you this whole thing, man. It'll take about 20 fucking minutes, and I can only do it on Skype because that's the only place where it's files long enough to fucking do this. So again, like a lot of people don't realize this was I was the one, because Jez from Windows posted some of this stuff, like the pictures stuff, yeah. Well, I mean, you can put 2 and 2 together where he got it from. But anyway, so it's like, it tells you all about how they want you to have 4K 60 frames per second and HDR enabled in your recordings for stuff, right? So it's like capturing
Microsoft, man.
Capturing HDR. Listen, it's like capturing HDR has become an increasingly important internal publisher reviews, marketing assets.
How the fuck are they doing that?
I have no idea. It's like recommend exploring Atmos Inferno as well, standalone portable hardware device built in HDR mod. It's like all this stuff that Scorpio is going to be doing. They're like color gamuts, like it's got all this stuff, and it's even has like the stuff that I'm looking at also has like benchmarks and shit like that. So they're talking about levering install packages and all this guy. Some of this stuff is really technical. Like I
want to see this fucking thing. You gotta send it to me.
Yeah, I will tonight.
Send it to me. Send it because
I can't send it while we're on the air, but I'll send it off once we're off the air.
Yeah, please.
It's definitely worth reading. If
I didn't know you had this. Why didn't you let me know?
Crap. Tim is excited now, man.
Now you get to read.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. Like I had sent, because I'm not like the big technical guy, but like people like Dealer and Hellhammer and they're like they can understand a lot of this stuff. You know what I mean? So summary is Project Scorpio has been designed to enable 4K rendering supported by higher quality texturing and improved hard disk drive bandwidth. And they just go on with a lot of really interesting stuff in these things. And I think that, they're going all out with this. This is their baby. This is the thing that they think is gonna put them back in the game. And I think we're also gonna get like a $3.99 mic drop point.
I think I've been calling that.
Hey, don't let them hear you say that.
Well, I mean, look, it makes sense.
2 SKUs. So what that means? $3.99, $4.99.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. It just for me, I just think that to get the most market saturation, even though everybody's like, what the hell does Phil call it, a premium console? Like that just means that it's like, it's going to be more expensive than the base unit. The PS4 Pro is a premium console. It's a premium PS4, right? But it's still $399, and it'll likely go down to $350. It just will, So I just think that with Scorpio, that's going to be a premium, and the Xbox One S is going to probably go down to $250 or so. Anyway, So anything above that, if they sell that at $250, then that would make the Scorpio base unit $400, which would be $150 more than the base unit. So like that to me is still premium. Like I don't have a problem with that. And they're going with the 1 terabyte hard drive. That to me tells me that they're trying to get this thing in as cheaply as possible.
Now, crap, I said this on, I'm doing shameless plugs tonight on the GRG podcast. Friday nights, 8:30 Eastern. But hey man, hey, shit.
No, that was
you know
a
what I'm saying?
full plug, man. That wasn't even a punch.
We gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Delilah and Lady Infamous be in my ass every week. Like, you just treat us like a stepchild. I said, no, I don't. It's my baby. It's our baby. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let me just keep going. I said this, and this was what was funny because a lot of people kept on forgetting the what happened at the 2013 launch. And Phil Spencer was on stage and had to tell everybody that the Xbox One was $499. And if you could see his face when he said that price and how the crowd grumbled, and look, Phil looked like, you know, it was like one of those Southwest air commercials where you want to get away. It was just like that, man. Yeah, because he was looking left and right. He licked his mouth. It was like, oh shit, we in trouble. And he knew because the crowd grumbled.
That's funny. That's funny. I'm pulling that up right now.
Yeah, and you will see that, and you will see his face. That is not going that right there.
What he's gonna be? He's gonna be like $399.
Yeah.
$399.
That is a guarantee. That this is gonna be $399.
People are gonna be fucking
and drop a mic. Just drop the mic.
Oh yeah, imagine he just throws the mic and it fucking slams.
Hey, just go back and just go to the launch of the Xbox One in 2013 and see Phil's face when he said,
I'm doing it right now. YouTube. I'll put it on my Twitter.
All right, you'll see.
I don't think Phil would do something, but that will be this is how we treat our games. That Ray did and dropped the mic. Mm-hmm. Like, this is how we.
What year was that? 2013.
2013. Hey man, it was because somebody posted the video.
I want to see
it reminded me of it, and because I remember and I was, and Phil's face was like, oh my god, he wanted to get the hell out of there because the crowd was like, oh.
I'm gonna try to play it if I can. See if I can now.
Okay, all right. Phil's face said it all. Phil's face said it all.
Hey, just share the screen.
I gotta watch this fucking advertiser site.
They gotta.
Now it's 30 seconds.
Yeah,
it's not YouTube's fault, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, I hate the Wall Street Journal, but that's another fucking story.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me see. I'm gonna pre-think it and see if I can see it. He's coming out now. I'll try. See if you can hear it.
Okay.
We shared our vision for Xbox One.
We can hear it.
We unveiled an ambitious system built for a modern connected living room. Today, we've shared a new generation of games on Xbox One, exclusives like Forza 5, Rise, Son of Rome, Sunset.
We got no games!
Dead
That's a great 4K experience.
That Xbox One will launch this November in 21 markets around the world at $499 in the US, 499 euros in European markets, and 429.
Oh yeah,
I told you.
He knows.
Get the fuck out of there, like right.
He knows.
You heard the grumbles in the background. Like I'm pretty sure people couldn't hear it.
Well, he actually, you gotta watch it. I'm gonna put it up. You gotta watch it. You can see he's like, oh fuck.
Yeah. He looked around and he licked his lips like, oh shit, like.
I think he's got his redemption, I think.
Yeah, he's going to get his redemption. Trust me.
He needs it. I mean, look.
Yeah, Killer Phil and them knew.
Can he throw the mic with that? I would love that. Imagine
have his own mic.
Imagine he just drops the mic and leaves.
Yeah. But
$399 and then he fucking just.
Hey, well, that's what Sony did with the original PlayStation. Mm-hmm. Like they brought the guy out at like E3 or whatever the hell thing that was, and he comes up to the thing and he goes $299 and then walks away. That was it. Like that was his fucking speech, like $299, and that beat out the Saturn because it was $399. So if he comes out, like they need to bring Ibarra out. Just have Ibarra go.
Just have her
just have Ibarra go up and go $399. Boot stomp.
Yeah.
Walk away.
And then before he walks off, he drops the mic and then shows how motherfucking epic Crackdown 3 is going to look on the way out. Yes.
Well, I think you're going to see that at E3. You're going to see a lot of Crackdown. I hope it's Phil though, because you look at that and that was a tough. You could tell it was tough. That's that was a tough time for Xbox, and I think he's going to come full circle. I think they're going to hit $399. I said that from when I said that from a lot. I wavered a little from during the middle of it. I said maybe $449, or $499 when we didn't even know anything about the specs. But when everything came out, even though Digital Foundry's saying $499, I think it's going to hit $399.
Okay. This is a question for everybody on the panel.
Digital Foundry, they're gonna overshoot anyway.
Well, this is a question to the panel. Okay, let's just say that we were all Phil at that moment.
Oh my
God! We had to say that because we had a boss. Now we're the boss. Are you actually going to go up to the gaming public and tell them $499 again? Let me know.
I don't have a problem with it. We'll be getting $4.
We can't show this.
Just share your screen. Yeah.
I'm saying to crap.
No, you can't show that shit to anyone.
Okay, crap. What do you say? After seeing, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but Tim's seen it and I've seen it. Going up there and what the crowd response was, and you seen how everybody kind of looked at that and moaned. Could you go up there this year and say $499 for the Scorpio crap?
Look,
I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
I think the problem again with the $499 is that their biggest competitor was $400 and more powerful. They don't have that. They don't have that issue anymore.
No,
it wasn't that much more powerful though. Z.
Man, listen.
Yeah, well, it was more powerful.
Yeah,
it was more.
And it was $499 and $399.
It wasn't 50% more powerful though. It wasn't 50%.
No, but that's when it gets all relative and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But it was $100 more expensive for a peripheral that no one wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah, people said that. That's why we're mad. It was all about power then. Now it's not about power though.
Right. And that's the thing about it now. And instead of it actually being the same, because we don't want another PlayStation Pro, you should have gave us the boost mode at launch. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed. Nobody ever talks about that.
Right.
Nobody ever talks about that. There's the article from Kotaku talking about that. Microsoft has this planned out to the T. They have FreeSync too. Where is Sony getting FreeSync too? Ask them. No, we're afraid. Fuck you. Let's go after Microsoft and Phil. That's honestly where is this is what I talk about, the higher bar. There you go. I mean, this stuff is what they're bringing is crazy and should be, it should be pointed out. Nobody else touches this.
For anybody that bought, I'm sorry, crap. Let me just say,
go ahead.
For anybody that bought the PlayStation Pro at launch,
yes,
unfortunately. And then this year, you fools. Anyway, for coming up this year, and they're going to have a better version of the Pro, I would be pissed.
Look, you know what? I'm at the point where where I'm at the point with all this hardware and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like I'm just at the point where like fuck it, like especially if they keep these things at $399 or so within that range, I'll buy them every couple years. Like who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like
this is every goddamn year though.
The Sony thing would be ridiculous. I wouldn't buy another Pro anytime soon, but because I would want it to be out at least a couple of years. But I'm just saying, like, I'm cool with the 2.5 year time frame to get new stuff, and that's a change on my part. Like, I'm a man enough to admit that. Like, originally I was against that, but now I'm like, whatever. Like the fucking I went to an IMAX movie, and that shit cost me like $80. You know what I mean? And that's for 2 hours. Yeah. So it
costs how much?
To see fucking IMAX for 2 people. It's like,
no. Okay, you know what? I stay in Oklahoma. Shit is cheaper. We countrified.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? My IMAX cost me $40. But you know what? For anybody that bought the Pro this year and they're gonna have a better Pro for you, I got only one thing to say.
well, look, like if you guys ever go to a baseball game, right, or whatever, that's $200, man. You go with a couple people, like, and that's just.
I've never been to a baseball game ever in my life.
You never been to a baseball? You never went to a Yankee game?
I'm from the projects, bro. We never.
You went to a Yankee game, dude?
Bro,
I went to City Field.
I don't know.
Come on.
I don't know anything about baseball. Football, yes.
But even
Football, yeah.
Yankee Stadium's cool. You just go there and you just hang out.
I don't know
Same
what
with
the hell's
City.
going on, man. That's like me going to a
But
hockey
it doesn't
game.
matter. We should.
Or me going to a
You
golf
should go to
tournament.
one. You know how
I like
baseball works,
baseball.
right?
I like baseball.
I know a strikeout, but I never
person.
played this shit. That's just not what's you know what I mean.
Well, I like baseball, watching baseball in person more than I do watching it on television. The only time that I really watch baseball is during the pennant race, during the playoffs, because the season is so long, and then you got basketball, you got football, you got hockey, and I think those playoffs. I mean, I think those are a lot more interesting.
Let's just be real.
Baseball games.
Yo, baseball. Yo, Z, you're missing out on being at a baseball stadium strictly for the food. All right, the food is absolutely. I've been to Citi Field. I've been to Yankee Stadium too, but I like Citi Field better. I am a Mets fan. All right, the food over there is absolutely amazing.
What kind of fan are you?
Tim likes the Mets too.
I'm very pissed off right now about the Mets.
Well, Oklahoma don't have a really big. We just got the AAA Dodgers.
You have Sterling. You had the Giants receiver. You like him, Sterling?
Yeah. Oh.
Hey, welcome to Big Gamer Sports Talk, bitches.
Hey, to the Jocks Off Hour. What's happening? K Mega is your host. Let's talk about goddamn sports. Why the hell is the Clippers got taken away? Hopefully, Blake Griffin or what's that name?
PS4 Pro.
I can't think about it, but anyway, hopefully Blake Griffin can come back home to Oklahoma and he can be with Russell Westbrook. Thunder up! Let's go. Okay.
Didn't they just get whooped? Didn't the Thunder just get exited though, like pretty quick?
Yo, Mega, can you send yourself to Hades real quick?
All right,
just after.
I can't do that shit. Y'all can't do that to me.
Hey, what did you guys think about this hot add-on for Forza Horizon 3? I think it looks fucking amazing.
I heard it's awesome. I gotta buy it, man. I'm a man to read a little mean.
I was wondering, maybe it'll fall off a truck for you, bro.
I hope so.
The funny thing is, right? Like, I was wondering where can they go with this next expansion, and they're gone.
That shit came out of the field, man.
Yeah, and it's like it looks amazing. Like, to me, that's like this is gonna sell more copies of that game. Like, that game is like got to be such a success. The best racing game this generation got better. Not only that, but these expansions, like Blizzard is probably going to be better than GT Sport or any of these other games that are coming out racing wise. Like, I remember thinking that then when that Fast and the Furious free thing came out, that was better than Drive Club. You know what I mean? Like, it had like this story, like, like they did such a good job with it. It was fucking fun. It's amazing what these people are doing. Like, it's absolutely amazing. I can't say enough good things about it. Looks
See, that's like
absolutely
proves my point. That game could be supported with DLC to give it legs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Yeah, well, they have car packs every month.
Oh,
that's a service
How
game.
much is the
like
season pass? How much is the season pass?
Well, I bought the edition that came with the season pass, but you have to. This is separate. This is like the expansion. Like, these expansions are. I think you could have bought last year for $30, but otherwise these are $20 a piece. And sometimes they'll go to me. That's like, I bought the expansion pass too, so it's like I don't fucking care. Like, that's gonna like $20 or whatever because I bought it last year. So it comes out to like 15 each or some shit.
I just gotta say, yo, huge shout out to my boy Blades, Delirium Blades out there, because he actually he picked up the expansion pass for me. So now when Hot Wheels does come out, he did that like when it was on sale for $30, and the community, man, he didn't have to do that, and he went ahead and did that for me. So now when Hot Wheels does come out May 9th, right off the bat, I will be able to do loop-de-loops, man. I'm
hell yeah,
freaking excited, yo.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, that looks fucking phenomenal. I think it
That looks. Do you think that you fly off the track if I think you
probably do.
Like, if you race me and then I see you, can I drive you off the track in the middle of a flip?
What's it called? Forza Horizon.
It's the Hot Wheels. Yeah.
If you could do that, I'd be impressed.
Dude, they got the ring of fire. You jump through the ring of fire too.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like, what's cool is it just looks like this is like a something that they're going to be adding on. Like, you could just go and pick it up and play it. Like, to me, like, this is something I don't usually hear people talking about an expansion as being something like that's a must-have, but everybody's like, hell yeah, this is a must-have game. You know what I mean? Like, we got to get this shit. And I agree. Like, this is something, even though we supposedly don't have any games, like I'm backed up with so many fucking games. It's not even funny, you know. It's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, I'm fucking. It's very exciting. Like to me, I'm gonna drop everything.
Oh my God, this thing is beautiful.
Yeah. Like, did you see they market that thing right too? The fucking commercial for that is amazing.
I'm looking at it now on YouTube. But Jesus, this is beautiful.
Yeah, it's fucking. It's really, really,
Could you
really.
imagine this on Scorpio?
Yeah, that's true. Like, man, everything we have. Like, I think I'm gonna hold off. I have Resident Evil 7.
This is scary.
But I might not. But I might not play it. Until
How the fuck
Scorpio.
do they? I can't believe they're getting a 4K capture on this. I'm hearing what you guys are saying in Forza Horizon 3, but man, I want to see this fucking game. I want to see this whole Forza like game of the year. And I mean, I wouldn't want to rebuy it, but you know, I would love to see these things get updates where it's, you know, with the 4K.
Oh my God, this is beautiful, man.
I mean, look at that game. Imagine that at 4K with 4K textures.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, on a 4K TV. I mean, holy
with HDR, like,
shit.
this is beautiful.
Yeah, like that game's already amazing in HDR. I don't know if you guys have HDR sets, but fucking amazing. Like that is like one that and Gears. Like I'm like fucking even what is that? Mass Effect. You know, is one of those games that fucking like I think takes advantage of that. So it's like it's a different level. You know what I mean? I can remember Tim.
Or $30, $20.
Yeah, well, I think it's 30 if you buy it alone, or you can buy the expansion pass. I think which is Blizzard Mountain and that for like 35 or 40. If you would have bought it last year, it would have been 30 for both, which would have made it 15 each. I'm not sure what the deal is now, but you know, I just think that you know it looks amazing. And Tim, I remember last year when they announced the S, like you were at E3 and a bunch of people were like, we played Gears 4 in HDR on a 1080p screen or whatever, and it looked amazing. It looked like pop better than the 4K one running on Windows. You know, you weren't the only person that said that to us. You know, it was like other people were saying it. Like the HDR is a huge deal, and in these documents, Microsoft really pumps that. Like, hey, HDR, this is the future, HDR. And of course, nobody, I still remember everybody's like, does anybody even want HDR? Yeah. And then when Sony's like, HDR on the PS4, and everybody's like, Sony introduces HDR. And I'm like, oh my God, introduces.
Polygon did that.
Yeah, introduces. Like, what the fuck, man? Come on. Get your shit together.
They change their tone.
Yeah, there's been some changes in them, but the bottom line, the media is a fucking cesspool still. But
you know why they're a cesspool?
I do think that they realize that they are looked at as fucking fake news now, especially because of that fucking asshole hashtag Jason Schreier fucking fuck up. That piece of shit. That piece of shit. Basically said he's not objective and was just like,
yeah,
whatever the fuck that logic.
He actually had something on. He did something on the Whippoorwill podcast.
Yeah, he talked shit
where he was talking about basically saying that he doesn't want to be objective. So you know what? This is how I feel about any media outlet that wants to make money on not being objective.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny? He wasn't the only one. Like maybe we talked about this, but I got into it with the GameSpot people.
Yeah,
like,
I saw that.
I didn't want to. Yeah, I was like, I don't want to do it. I was like, this shit's gonna get me. Don't do it, crap. Don't do it. And then I did it. And I was
like, great.
Yeah, I was like, man, fuck you guys. You guys like because they were just like, we don't even want it. Like because who was it? Eric. That guy, he's like, he had that fucking footage of them going, yeah, we're getting a PS4 Pro. It's fucking great. And then he's like, are you even getting a Scorpio? I was like, no, you know, you have to get a new TV. Yeah, blah, blah. What's the message of the Scorpio? Like, what's that? Like, it's like they're fucking so obvious that they cater to Sony, you know, and then when we called him out on that, he's like, no, we don't have to be objective. It's like, you got the media saying they don't have to be objective. And you know who one of the most objective people of all is? Colin Moriarty. And even though I don't like the guy, I at least respect him because he said, you know what, as long as YouTubers and streamers are doing a better job than the gaming media will continue to attack these people and do what they're doing, right? Because they don't look, because we're taking, I guess, their jobs or whatever. But it's like when we're doing a better investigative job than some of these people, you know, then there's something wrong.
Well, check this out. Like, this was what was the saddest thing. I made a video talking about Persona 5. I didn't down Persona 5 whatsoever. You know, it's a game that I'm eventually going to buy for the PlayStation 4. But I wanted to prove the point about how bad the media was. And everyone that hated my video overlooked everything of what I posted about what the media said. There was so many people that it was one of the things from the lobby. I mean, well, it was you know, they were talking about Persona 5, and it was the lobby, and everybody on that panel said they have never played a Final Fantasy game ever. Everybody except for one person, and that was the guy with the glasses and the beard. And he says, well, I think you guys need to play Final Fantasy. And everybody else was like, I don't care. But then yet they wanted to talk about Persona 5. So how could you ever compare any Final Fantasies to Persona 5 if you've never played any Final Fantasies whatsoever? And then the guy with the glasses had to bring a point up about how one of the reviewers never played a Final Fantasy before, and he had to review it, and how pissed off he was about it, and he gave it a mediocre score. Because, of course, if that's just like you playing Guilty Gear. You've never played a Guilty Gear game, right? But you had to review it. Wouldn't you kind of give it like I don't give a fuck about this game. This game.
I'm gonna let somebody else review it.
Right. Well, see, but that's how this gaming media is. They'll go ahead, instead of like give it to K Mega or give it to anybody else that really likes these type of games. Let them see how it is. Let them see if it's really that good. They're going to let you do it, so you're going to give it a lower score than what it actually should deserve. And that was what he was addressing. While everybody else on the panel was trying to talk great about Persona 5, they still brought up the fact about, well, I really don't care about it that much because it's a niche title. That's where we at in the gaming media, and it's very sad.
Yeah.
Gaming media is just a bunch of fucking, it's somebody who they forgot how to work. They forgot how to, they forgot how to be, if you're in that business, you should be all about it. And unfortunately, they wait for, it to be figured out on NeoGAF, and then they report from there, and they report with a lot of the bullshit that goes on.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody hates the same.
Exactly.
Hey, that was,
thing
that was so good on.
But in regards to objectivity, I mean, I just come from a school that if you're going to be a reporter, you should have respect for the job, and you should be about it.
Exactly.
And I think that in today's, just with the media in general, fake news, it's a serious thing. You see a lot of stupid shit, and that you should hold yourself to a higher standard. You should make it should be about reporting the facts and not all this other stuff.
Yeah, let me review every other game except for card games. I'm not a big card game fan. The only card games that I like.
You are getting Gwent to review right now. Okay.
Well, no. I love Gwent. That's what
Send
I'm
that
say.
shit to Hades.
No, hold on, wait. Gwent and Yu-Gi-Oh! I love those two card games. I think those are fantastic games.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, I love the Yu-Gi-Oh! Gwent, the Yu-Gi-Oh! card game. I love it. From way back from the PlayStation 1 games. What Forbidden something. I forgot what the actual name of it was. My PlayStation brethren. His name. I called him Hash Brown. He was my roommate at the time. I was like 20. And I called him Hash Brown, man. He was a really cool dude. He was a white dude. His name was Ryan Tidwell. His pops owned a sports store. But anyway, man, me and him were roommates, and he was a PC guy and he was a PlayStation guy. And he was like, man, you need to play this card game. I'm like, man, fuck that shit. That shit's gay. And he was like, man, just go ahead and play it. Try it, man. And then when I played it, I loved it. So I love the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series card games. But see, it ain't something that I should I would tell somebody else to grab that. Give me fighters, give me sports games, give me some storytelling games, because I'm real cool with that. Well, RPGs, I should say. I love those genres. And that's how all these guys should be, is that everybody that has a love for those games, they will actually tell you the truth because they know better. See what I'm saying?
It's crazy, Mega, and everybody else on the panel is, we talk about this media thing, and it's a huge thing, and it's a bunch of bullshit. There's definitely bias, but since the start of this generation, and going 3 years into it, do you guys see like the media grip is like loosening when it comes to the community and the gamers? And now there are a lot of people in the community that come to BGST, that go to GRG, that go to Next Podcast, and a bunch of other places because they're tired of the bullshit. They're tired of the bias, and they want to hear things how they really are. And I think Phil Spencer knows this because, he said, quote unquote, influencers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I feel that their grip is loosening now, and they're kind of scrambling, and we are coming up. This is the gaming news now. That's the way I look at it. I love coming here every Sunday, talking to you guys on the panel, everybody in the chat, and letting people know exactly what's going on in the community. That's what it's about, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the thing is, like, Xbox fans were tired of going to the mainstream media sites just to get shit on. Everything was bad. Like, everything Xbox was just so bad. You know what I mean? Like, they had the resolution shit shoved down your throat. Now you don't see that.
No.
Magically, resolution doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just the funniest fucking thing ever. But that's why I was watching Next Gen, right? Like, that's just the truth of it. He was one that was like talking good about Xbox, and one of the only ones. So it was like, that's where you went to watch the stuff, and that's why BGST started or whatever. So people,
that's if you want to accept reality, because that definitely went on.
Yeah, and then I mean, we used to have phone with it, and we damage control and stuff like that. But I mean,
yeah, we knew we were fucked. Like when I had that meltdown with Call of Duty, we always talk about. I knew. I was like, this is it. I said, we're fucked.
Fuck, what are you guys thinking? 720p,
Larry? 720p?
But no, but I knew then that we were gonna have this problem all gen. I thought it was gonna be maybe a little bit better, but it was even worse than I thought, because they fucking harped on resolution for fucking 2.5 to 3 years. When E3 came out, then they were all confused. Everything was confused articles, and then nothing about resolution anymore. It's like they got slapped in the head, and they just moved on.
Dude, they were confused.
They don't have a lot of credibility. They don't have a lot of credibility. I think what we're all talking is when guys like us work harder than them. It's just that's just the way it is. And if they have a problem with that, go to work. And go to work and try to write up and do investigative reporting. Try to find out news. That's on you. That's not you can't just sit back and expect things to be handed to you. And I think there's a lot of that bullshit that resides now, and especially in the gaming media. They need to step the fuck up.
I agree. And you know what? A big shout out to Truth Shot Gaming. You know what I'm saying, brother? Coming up and asked me and Bot like we act like we too good because we on BGST. Let me make this clear. You know what I'm saying? I am that dude, right? Like that. I think that's why Next Gen asked me to be on, right? Because I am so defiant with everybody.
No, I actually need some color here. I was the only black guy here, and
it came down to race.
You know what I'm saying? Or he wanted his ass whooped in DOA. But regardless of the fact of it is, real talk. Hey man, we gonna be seeing each other in Mortal Kombat. We gonna go ahead and settle that, bro.
Injustice too.
Yeah.
Dude, you gotta get through me first, man.
You know what? Like I said, when I see you Next Gen,
Next Gen,
yo, I'm coming for you, cocksucker. But no, for real, this is what it is. Let me just break this point down. Look, for everybody out here, from Tim, even Xbot, to even though me and Xbot knew each other. No. You'll see what I'm saying. You'll see what I'm saying. Even Xbot, like me and Xbot met each other from We Game Here, but from Next Gen to Crab, Mooch, Showstopper, hell, I mean the list goes on. Even War Reward. You know what I'm saying? I was a fan of BGST when I first started getting into this YouTube thing, and I was always like, damn, you know what I'm saying? This is the big time. You know what I'm saying? This is where the big boys play. And to be on this channel, you know what I'm saying? It's not because these guys, wanted some flunky to be on here to kiss their ass. It's the fact of it is that they looked at me as an equal. And you know what? I look at everybody else that don't have the subs that anybody that Crap or Mooch or Z or Tim has. You know what I'm saying? As underlings, I look at all of us as gamers, man. BGST is all about the gamers, and especially Xbox Pro gamers, because there was nobody before Z. Z deserved all the credits because you know what? He made Crap. He made Mooch. He made Tim. He made all of
now it's time for the Martin Luther King speech. I have a dream.
I'm just being real. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. If I'm lying, I'm flying, bro. I'm lying, I'm flying. You know how I am.
I want to even pay attention to that type stuff.
No, man. Because you know what? I just want to keep it real, and I only do this one time because I ain't going to be saying this shit again because that's wasting time. But listen, we're no bigger than anybody else, man. We're all fans of video games. Okay, now I'm done. Let's go.
Listen, we can close the show. Crap, Fable 4. What we got?
Yeah, you know what? Phil on Twitter, somebody asked him about Fable 4, and he flat out said that there's a lot more stories and things like that. I have heard Fable was coming this E3 for a while now. So I'm actually like, to me, that would be amazing.
Yes.
I did a video, like, he didn't say no, not right now. You know how Phil's honest about that stuff. He's like, well, we're not working on something right now. He didn't say we're not working on it. Right. He's like, there's a lot of stories that could be told there. You know what I mean? It's like when your mom's like, when you're like, hey mom, yes or no? And she's like, maybe, you know, that's not a yes or a no. You know what I mean? It's a more of a maybe, or not right now. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what we're going to get. And I think this E3, we're actually going to see probably a teaser or something, because even though he doesn't want to show stuff years away, I would imagine that they are using the assets and stuff from Fable Legends, and which is gorgeous. You know, those graphics were amazing, and probably the turnaround will be pretty quick. That game's been out of commission for over a year now, like a year and a half. So plenty of time for next year to release a new Fable game, in my opinion. And I think that there's a reason why they didn't sell the IP. They got offers, pretty high amount to sell the IP, and they turned it down. So I think there is a Fable game in the works, and I think that Xbox fans should be excited for stuff like that at E3. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Dude, I am pumped, man. Yo, there was a reason why, like when Lionhead, when they were inquiring about possibly selling off that studio, and people were like, oh yeah, just throw that Fable title in there, and they're like, hell no, we're not gonna do that. So
yeah,
you knew there was a Fable coming. I'm really excited. That is one of those games that I kind of just dive into, and when I surface again, it's like 3-4 months later. You know what I'm saying? Like I get into
Chicken
that
chaser.
world,
Chicken chaser.
You're chicken chaser.
But I'm pumped, man.
Okay, well, with that being said, you got something to say?
Yeah, I just want to say that love you all, and
yes,
tell like I said, to be proactive on Twitter. You know, ask your questions, obviously, and do what you do, because I have to thank even all the fans, you know, for Xbox that, you know, just keep pushing, because we definitely have a high bar, and I think we're gonna get what we want, and we just demand it. And for me personally, I told Phil yesterday that the Trifecta is a third-party 4K baseball game that Xbox gets exclusively. That's what I want, you know. Yeah. So, and you know, we all have wants, but I think that would be a good thing. So,
yeah, when Xbox actually get into the point to where they will stop thinking about the numbers and actually throw out some content that they might have to take a hit on every once in a while, that's when Xbox will reign supreme. I believe that truly.
That's a good point, and that's probably what part of the trade-off is. There's always a trade-off in life.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, have we covered all the bases?
Yeah, I mean, we covered a lot, man. It's coming down to game time, man.
Good
Eventually,
show.
we're going to be, you know, E3's coming up, and it's going to be a busy time. There's going to be, which to those that don't know, man, Mooch is on board for the E3 coverage.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. Scorpio, listen, before we go, I'm saying silver. You guys saying silver, black or white?
Black.
White.
I think it's going to be
white.
Platinum.
Black. Silver.
Chrome.
I actually hope that it's matte black, but I have a feeling it's going to be white.
That's exactly what I think it's going to be.
Matte black.
Yeah.
I say Chrome Silver. I mean, you had a black one at launch. You had the white Xbox One S.
Maybe
they might be
a
trying to
Chrome
sell-
Silver symbol of.
Hey, they might be going in trying to get Japanese support with this thing again, which the Japanese buy white consoles like smaller consoles, so that they could be trying to do something like that. Like supposedly this, like the XDKs are smaller than the S.
Yeah, I know,
You know?
I know, but I just thought that's Silver will be on. We had black at launch.
Who knows? They might have two.
That metallic. I think they're gonna have more SKUs. And
They're
you
gonna
know
have two
what?
SKUs, a white and a black one. You fucking set.
If they have a metallic silver or a platinum silver, it's over. Game over.
Over.
All right. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. We catch you guys all during the week. Whatever we do, I'm sorry, Tim's on TXR podcast tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep, 10 o'clock.
Grab them by the
Xbox
pussy.
Roundtable with with the man. Oh, somebody messaged me yesterday. I swear to God, and they go, what's the deal with Rand Out Pony 19, the man with the PS4? And I was just like, are you serious?
He got pissed off a lot of people yesterday.
Yeah, like but you know what? I talked to him. I was like, dude, like, yeah, you know, you got to be able to give your opinion. If you're an Xbox dude, like these people give an opinion. It's like it's not hurting anybody. As far as I'm concerned, wait till E3. You know, like E3 is going to be the tell of the tape. Microsoft knows all eyes are on them. You know.
Okay. Well, with that being said, we out of here.
Well, hold on. You know what? Everybody else got something to say. It's my time now. Let me know.
It's my time.
It's my time. Let me say it's about the time to go. Let me give a shout out to Dealer, the best Xbox assassin out there to date. He is an assassin. He's a motherfucker. To my boy D. Batch.
He called me too.
Hey, D Batch, much love and much love to the next podcast, X448. That is my brother right there, always. And you know what? And to the GRG Nation, you guys got to understand, salute us just as well because we are part of the BGST Nation as well. And you know what? I'm gonna give you props, Zaire, even though I'm gonna whoop your goddamn ass when we get into combat. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what? Without you, bruh, I don't think a lot of us would be doing what we're doing.
I have a dream that one day.
Yeah, you know what? I got a dream that I'm gonna whoop your ass again.
I got a shout out to Mooch. Why don't you come on the show when Timmy's
big shout out to Mooch. Big shout out to Tim Crap. You know, everybody, man. You know,
make sure you guys
She-Wolf, GKB, you know what I'm saying? Quest Podcast, every goddamn body. You know, we doing it. Xbox strong. Fuck all the hate.
make sure you guys check out MNC Mornings. We did it this morning. We're started incorporating some skits in there and stuff. So there was like the PS4 Roach Coach ad and the NeoGaf Cheers parody, which is really great. Yeah, we've been having a ton of fun with that stuff. So yeah, make sure you guys check
that. What's the thing that you want me to watch? You should check it out.
Dude, it was this NeoGaf Cheers parody.
I can't find it. Where you told me 2 times. Send me the link and tell me the timestamp exactly because I didn't. I tried to watch it and I just heard a guy talk.
Yeah, you'll hear it. Like I think it was like a couple seconds after that particular point. But yeah, I'll find it.
Send it to me. Send it to me.
Sure.
All right.
But the best show next to BGST is definitely Moochie Craps in the Morning, man. Moochie Craps in the Morning is classic.
Yeah, we were rolling the day, man. That shit we had like
father of them all, man.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. We had a lot of people in there.
Much love to you guys.
We're still on air too.
Are we still in there?
All right, we going. We catch you guys. This is dealing homie now. We catch you guys next.
BGST.
Yeah, are we out of here?
Next podcast, GRG, the babies on the crew.